Alright, 5:55. Whatever. I'll make it there on time anyway. Anyway. What's up, folks? It's Friday. Finally at the end of the week. So I'm definitely starting to get my groove down a lot more. I actually get out really early. Well, not really early. I get out at literally close to past 1 o'clock. Once I get everything done, you know what I mean? But like all the beds and all that stuff, it was really what was taking that extra time up. So as long as I keep coming in at like 9:30, 9:40, 9:45, varies depending on the morning, as long as it's not 10 o'clock. Because I think I fucked up. No, Monday I fucked up on that and did that the first time. I did the fucking 10 o'clock instead of 9:45. I got there. No, that was Friday that I fucked that up. I accidentally got there at 10 o'clock on Friday when I worked by myself. I stayed in the parking lot until Friday. Or I mean 9:45, which I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize I was supposed to be gone. Whoops. But now I know it's 8:45, right? To leave. Anyway, I brought my last acai bowl. I brought me a couple waters. And obviously a bunch of granola bars and whatever, an apple. Those oranges that we got are really not that good. You know, if an orange is not that sweet tang, either it's sweet, you know, some oranges, they'll be just sweet, like a flat sweet, or it'll have a tang but no sweet, then they're not good. They're not good. Oranges like that are not good. And that's unfortunately what we got. We got oranges right now, and I don't know about the other ones, but the ones that I've been bringing, they have a tang, but they're not sweet. So it's just like, ew. You know what I mean? Bro, back up, dude. Why are you on my ass for? I have this big old truck on my ass. Back the fuck up, bro. I mean, he's not on my ass. I shouldn't say that. That sounds really weird. But, yeah. Anyway, so, yesterday, yeah, it was good. It gets really tiring really fast. Because, see, I could take a break, but then I'm stuck there till later. So, once I get in there, I knock out the whole building and then go and break by like 1 o'clock, 1:30. Because, you know, if I took a break at 10 or 11, then I'm still stuck in there later. A half an hour extra time is just added into being there later, as opposed to what I can do a half an hour in the moment. You know what I mean? So it's just like, a little difficult. I didn't put my medicine in my nose. Damn it. I had a bloody nose yesterday morning, like I mentioned, which wasn't fun at all. That was terrible. But anyway, we are now less than 2 weeks of Christmas. We have 20 days. It is the 5th after all, so 20 more days till Christmas. Victoria keeps asking me if tomorrow's Christmas. I know how that feels because I remember when that used to be a thing when I was a kid too. I don't know if it's common for other kids to ask if tomorrow's Christmas, but when I was a kid growing up, I would get up in the middle of the night. I'd constantly wake up every morning to check the tree, and I remember feeling so depressed every fucking time there was no Christmas presents under the tree. I remember being so disappointed, and so that one year specifically, that's my earliest Christmas that I can remember, was when I was like 5 years old, when I lived at this one house down the street from Natchez Trail Elementary. I should have put my fucking medicine in because my nose is already starting to burn this morning. Yeah, supposedly that house is haunted, and my dad, I guess that, whatever that was, followed us from what my dad told me a couple days ago, but thankfully it's not around, so probably because we all heavily believe in the Lord above and His protection, you know. God don't want nothing like that really being around us, honestly. But anyway, yeah, I remember when I woke up one morning, my earliest that I can remember. I remember waking up every night after the tree was put up to keep an eye on the tree. And my dad, man, he played it off so well with Santa Claus coming and all that stuff. He went so far as to put boot marks in front of the fucking chimney to show that Santa went up the chimney. That was really fucking smart. That was really, really smart. Now I know Santa Claus don't exist, but man, did that dude really know how to play it well. He knew really how to make it look like Santa really came. But then the questions of like the apartments and all that came of like, how is Santa Claus getting in here with all these fake chimneys? Something not right. You know what I mean? So shit started to unveil, and then over time I realized Santa Claus wasn't real. But I don't even know why the fuck people do that. You know what I mean? I don't even know why the fuck people do that, honestly, with false beliefs and shit like that. But it's a fun little gag. I kind of see it more as a gag. But if you really believe that Santa Claus exists, you should not really steer your kids into believing stuff like that, you know? You know what I mean? Santa Claus didn't fucking die on the cross for you. You know what I mean? So, and pardon my language for saying that. Again, I don't like speaking about Jesus Christ and cussing at the same time. You know what I mean? But, yeah. That's one thing. We don't teach Victoria that Santa Claus exists. Stuff like that. Please don't turn red. Thank you. I'm gonna get there by 5:55. Oh well. Still around, you know, I get there early and I clock in. As soon as it only takes like 2, 3, 4 minutes to get around in there, you know. I just hope I get there by 6, because I'm getting tired of clocking in late. You know what I mean? I'm getting tired of clocking in 6:01, 6:02, 6:03, because they notice shit like that. But they don't really bother me on it, but at the same time, it's just like, I did warn them. But again, I keep bringing that up. But anyway, so, yesterday, yeah, during the week, all these buildings, they all started putting up Christmas trees and all this Christmas decor. The second building that I work at decided to put a couple elves in the shelves around. And they'll host like a find the elf event or something, which I don't take part in it, but they'll ask me. They asked me if I could keep an eye out for it. I was like, sure. You know, they're like, hey, could you look for the elf for me while you're around? I'm like, sure. Yeah, I'll let you know if I find it, but I never did. I never did find it. But I'm so fucking just trying to get done with the cleaning, you know. I'm not gonna focus on a fucking elf, you know what I mean? 5:53, see, I'm gonna be there. But anyway, yeah, yesterday was a chill day. Again, I don't really talk to anybody in the buildings. I don't really talk to anybody. Kind of rarely do I do, but I do talk to more of the people in the first building. Only a few of them, because there's not a lot of people in the first building. In the second building, there's a fuck ton of, there's a lot of people. But in the first building, yeah, they don't, they're very nice, you know, for the most part. Even the slightly meaner people are kind of nice. And they're not really mean, they're just quiet. You know what I mean? They're just quiet, they're not really mean. Yeah, they're very quiet. But the one guy that's even quiet, like the quietest of the quiet in the second building, he's not even there. He's gone until like June or August. And then the second quietest person in there, he's leaving. I guess he's like retiring or some shit. He's retiring in like 6 or 7 months. But other than that, everyone's pretty nice in those buildings. They'll leave whenever I go, like, clean up. You know, they'll be like, "Oh, we'll get out for you." You know, they're very respectable, and they always thank me for the work, which is nice. You know, I'm glad they do that because, you know, I'm trying. You know what I mean? I'm genuinely fucking trying. Like, I'm genuinely trying really to do everything in these rooms. The sinks, the floors, the beds, the replacing the towels, which I've never really had to do, you know, stuff like that. I'm having to, you know, the floors, the garbages, you know. But it's mainly just to get the fuck out fast. But at the same time, I make sure to really get everything done and not half-ass it while being fast. You know, but I'm starting to get the system. I'm starting to get it. You know what I mean? Because it's only 3 to 4 hours in the second building, and it's only an hour and a half to 2 hours in the first building. You know, it's not a lot. It's only a few hours in each area. Turn this off. It's fucking hot in here. Keep it warm though, you know, for the sake of my car not fogging up. But it's hot in here. But yeah, so that's it. I don't know what else. I guess talking about video games for a bit. I don't really play video games as much as I used to, right? Oh, and I talked to Jake yesterday, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Back to the video games. On Thanksgiving, like I said, Matt gave me all these super cool games on the Switch. So I have Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I have Legend of Zelda, which I haven't even bothered playing that yet. If I'm going to want to play the new Legend of Zelda games, I'm going to want to play the first one, the Breath of the Wild. But I'm not a Legend of Zelda guy. I'm not really a Legend of Zelda guy. But I'll still try it anyway. But I would rather look at part 1 rather than part 2, you know. And then he's got like fucking Wolfenstein 2, which I played all the Wolfenstein games already. They were free on Xbox, so I played them when I could, but I never actually finished Wolfenstein 2 though, so I'll probably try to actually beat it on that, but I never actually beat it. And then Wolfenstein New Blood was dog shit. I'm not even gonna bother playing that. But he doesn't have that. Wolfenstein 2 is the perfect ending. Is the good ending. It's the good ending. And then he's got Mario Party Jamboree, which we only played on Thanksgiving the one time. We didn't play anything again after that. And then Mario Party 8, which was awesome to finally get that too. Saves a lot of money, all these games, so I don't have to fucking buy them. And then, yeah, so then I can focus on other games down the line at some point. Because I still want Super Smash Bros. I still want fucking Mario 1, Super Mario Wonder, which is only for the Switch 2, I think. No, I think it's for the Switch 1 and 2. Super Mario Wonder. Super Mario Bros. They have the Wii U one, I think. One that was on the Wii U that was brought to the Switch. I want that one. Even though they need to put Wii games on there, because playing Super Mario Galaxy, man, was such a trip, dude. I didn't think it would have the, I didn't think it would allow you to do the sensor like the Wii, but it fucking does. It does, and it's so cool, man. The Switch actually, you don't even need a sensor. You just point it at the TV, or like it knows where you're pointing at, you know, based on the surroundings. And it creates its own little sensor, you know, to know where you're pointing at. Which, that is awesome. That is extremely awesome that Nintendo did that. That is extremely awesome that they did internal sensor instead of like you have to buy a sensor like a Wii, you know. So then they do have the potential to put Wii games on there. Wii Sports, Wii Play, Yeah, fucking the old school Mario and versus Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. GoldenEye, you know, GoldenEye 07. Not the old one. The old one's already on there for the N64. The new one, even though the Call of Duty sucked on the Wii, but they could put the old Call of Duties on there, you know what I mean? Even though the graphics were terrible, but the games were great. That's what got me started with Call of Duty. I mean, owning Call of Duty was owning them on the Wii. I owned them on the Wii, and that's what started it for me. But I already own all the Call of Duties, so old school Call of Duties. I own Modern Warfare already on the Xbox. I own Black Ops. I own Modern Warfare 3. So I'm not really missing out much, but the Wii was what started it for me with Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Owning it. But when I first started with Call of Duty, it was actually the big red one on the PS2, World at War and Modern Warfare on the PS3. But I'm pretty sure World at War was the first modern one that I played. But I could be wrong. I don't actually know. But then my first ever owned Call of Duty, and I remember this day, I'll never forget it, was when I got Modern Warfare for the Wii. That was hella cool. And the graphics didn't even bother me at the time. I noticed it more on Black Ops. Black Ops, I noticed how shitty it looked. But Modern Warfare didn't really bother me, nor did Modern Warfare 3. But Black Ops really bugged the fuck out of me. When I used to play, and I played World at War on the Wii too, but I didn't ever actually own that one on the Wii. I own it now. I own World at War now, but I never owned World at War back on the Wii. But anyway, kind of going off topic here. I'm gonna make a part 2, so yeah.